The creative sacrifice, China and Indonesia. In Chinese and Indonesian myths, a common theme is the sacrifice of superhuman divinities whose bodies become part of the natural world. In the South Pacific regions of the world, these beings are known as Dema deities. In many traditions, their bodies also bestow practical items, edible plants to feed people, as well as rituals and knowledge. According to Chinese myth, at the beginning of the world there was no difference between sky and land, heaven and earth. All is contained in an egg shape, a cosmic black egg that carries all the chaos, but also contains a balance of yin and yang. The first human, Panjiu, inhabits this space and lies alone sleeping for 18,000 years. When he wakes, he stretches and breaks the membrane, releasing all of the parts of the universe. This is how the sky and earth are made. After all of this time sleeping, Panjiu has grown to be a giant. Noticing chaos has ended, he decides to make order a permanent arrangement by holding apart the sky and the earth with his huge body. He spends a further 18,000 years in this position and all remains intact. After this time has elapsed, he dies. Each part of his body is forms as features of the earth and sky. His limbs mark out a compass and mountain ranges. His blood becomes waterways. His teeth and his bones form the earth's minerals and rocks. His eyes become the sun and the moon. His death adds features to the universe and follows his form. There are many varieties of Panjiu's physical appearance in the different myths from across China. Sometimes he has a dog's head and a man's body. In some he is very short. There are versions where he is assisted by a turtle, a kiln, a phoenix and a dragon. There is also a variation where parasites on his body create the first humans. In West Seram, Southwest Pacific, Ameta is the first man to discover the coconut. He receives instructions in a dream teaching him how to plant it. In 3 days, a very high tree has grown. Ameta climbs the tree to harvest its flowers, and in so doing, he cuts himself and spills his blood on a blossom. In 3 more days, he finds a girl has grown from this branch. The girl, Hainuwale, has the extraordinary power to defecate very valuable objects. Despite her generosity, the men of the tribe become jealous and attack her, burying her alive and dispersing her objects of wealth. When Ameta discovers her body, he cuts it up and plants each piece in a separate place, which causes tubers to grow. These become food for the people. After these events, the divine leader Mulua Satine, disgusted at the first act of killing in her community, announces her departure. Before she leaves, she forces each man to cross a threshold where they become animals or ghosts, or remain as men. There are many complexities to this myth relating to how society works, involving money, defilement, and power, and a strict order of pattern numbers. This myth was first recorded by an anthropologist in the early 20th century, and it is contested as to whether it is an ancient myth or a more recent reconstruction of legend to explain socioeconomic conflict. Nonetheless, it captures the anxieties of a society moving from hunter-gatherers to domiciled plant growers, and provides an insight into relations between men and women when such change occurs.